Those of us who voted for him need to hold him accountable to the promises he made.
They specifically painted it this last time to be even more horrific. It was gone.
$100. They went from $249 to $349. They said it's their biggest seller.
The need to leak that to the press, to let the American people know, because they know Trump isn't going to tell us themselves.
Hello, and welcome to another video. Yes, in this video we're gonna be enjoying some MAGA tears and some people that regret their votes. So stay towards the end because it's gonna get really interesting, and I'm gonna leave you at the end of this video my opinion about what is happening right now.
Those of us who voted for him need to hold him accountable to the promises he made. We put him in office, and should he betray us, we should certainly put him out and find someone else more worthy. To answer your question on Pete Hegseth and his unethical stance on military rules of engagement with civilians, yes, you would have my support to stand and fight against the tyranny. The answer is yes. Trump is not my master. My loyalty is to God and then to my country. Thank you for keeping people informed about these things, and God bless you. I read that and I was like, wow, there was a lot of thoughts went through my head as I read it. And again, I want to make it very clear that I'm not here to belittle this person for sending this message. I appreciate their honesty, and I appreciate them admitting this and saying this out loud. Truth be told, there probably is a whole lot of people that voted thinking they were just voting on the losing horse. I don't understand that way of thinking. I don't understand why anyone would go there with it. But he admitted that he didn't pay attention, that he didn't even watch his rallies, that he didn't think he had a shot, but he just voted for him anyway. Now, he didn't go on to say exactly why that he didn't vote for Kamala. I guess, if I was guessing, and that's all I'm doing at this point, I'm just speculating that he may have been, of the nature like a lot of people around here, well, at least ain't a Democrat, or I don't think he's got a shot. Back in 2016, there were a whole lot of people who did do a protest vote. Absolutely. There was people, friends of mine that I've had on the show here that have that voted for him in 2016 and saw real quickly that they had made a mistake. I also knew people back then that said, you know what, if he was going to burn it to the ground, let him. I wanted to see him burn it to the ground. This go around, we've already seen him attempt to burn it to the ground so many times that I don't see how anyone could take the chance on him, even if you thought he was a losing horse. I don't understand how anyone could be willing to take a chance like that. And I don't understand how people could vote not listening to the rallies. I listened to everything Kamala had to say. I listened to everything Trump had to say. And so I don't understand that logic, but I do believe there probably were a whole lot of people that once again either A, did it as a protest vote, B, didn't think he had a shot but just did it anyway because I guess they might not have wanted to be harassed by their family members, or C, they just weren't paying attention. I don't know, folks. It does baffle me, but I will say to JM, and I'm just using the initials because I don't want him to be harassed on social media, I will say, thank you for your honesty. I will say thank you for saying that you would stand to fight against the tyranny, and I really hate that it had to come to this point before that you regretted your vote.
This sign, okay, this has been on the highway for nearly a decade. This thing spanned an entire hill. Okay, they specifically painted it this last time to be even more horrific. It was gone. It was gone. Look, this is what it looks like now. This is the first time I've seen it like that since 2015? Like a decade. A decade. It's looked like this. I've seen all the Trump signs go down in my area. All of the ones in my neighborhood. I did a video before. This was what my neighbor looked like during election week. Now it looks like this. I did a video, like everything went down about a month and a half ago from like my local neighborhood. But this one has been up until today. Maybe this is a good omen, but this is what I've seen for a decade. A 50-foot sign is gone today. Let's say this is a good omen. I want to say this is a good omen.
Amount of toys for their children, and the toys that are available are going to be much more expensive. And this is proof the Republican Party is no longer the party of the free market, because Trump's tariff plans are trying to dictate and control how the free market works. He's trying to prevent American consumers from accessing affordable products. He's trying to actually create or prevent competition in the free market. And this is coming from the Republican Party, which has championed the free market for so long. They have said that we should allow the market to dictate prices, but instead, Trump is trying to control the market and dictate prices. He is trying to use the government to control the market, which is quite literally communism. The opposite of capitalism, which is a free market, is when the state controls the market, which is capitalism. So congratulations, Trump voters and MAGA. You quite literally voted for communism.
So I'm here at Home Depot getting some stuff for the move we just did, and saw something very interesting. If you think the tariffs aren't affecting things, and you think the recession's not coming, and you think prices aren't changing, I just saw Home Depot and the DeWalt reps raise something by $100. They went from $249 to $349. They said it's their biggest seller, and they said it's not the only thing that's going to change in price today. So May 1st, everything's changing. That's not just DeWalt.
Hello. So I work at Lowe's, and we are starting to feel the effects of the tariff increases in appliances. Wow. There's the over-the-range microwaves have gone up between $50 and $75. I have never in my life seen an increase. One little Whirlpool is 878060, has never ever been above like $215 for this microwave. It's now like $278. Wow. Here it comes.
Take a listen to these women and tell me if you believe anything that they're saying.
Hi everyone, so I'm with one of my really good friends. She voted for Trump. And you know what? Well, yes. But guess what? It's not time for us to do that. The time has come for us to figure this shit out.
No, we already had it figured out. You don't get a pass. You don't get to call for unity now. Calling for unity now is like offering Caitlyn Jenner a hand. You're a little too late.
People want to hear that you regret your vote.
As of right now, I'm very unhappy with where we are economically.
There we are. You mean you're getting economically hit? Who the fuck would have guessed that?
But guess what? This needed to happen. We needed for him to win, rigged or not, for him to win, and for all of us to come together. So what we are saying tonight, let's come together. Exactly. Let's come together. We're all Americans.
Stop the division.
No, this didn't need to happen. Stop the division? Where the fuck were you on January 6th? Where were you when there was good people on both sides? Stop the division. Where were you when he was degrading women? Where were you during these things, huh? Nope. Fuck around and find out. No unity here.
Trump's own administration is trying to sabotage him, as multiple team members have leaked to the press that they are personally stockpiling products to get ahead of the empty shelves that are coming because of Trump's tariffs. Now, this story comes to us from Rolling Stones, who reports this. 2 Trump administration officials and a Trump aide tell Rolling Stone that they have done some stockpiling of their own in recent weeks and months. And they know of Republican members that are doing the same thing: toilet paper, food, and other goods. Think about that for a moment. Trump's own administration has been stockpiling for months now. They've been trying to get ahead of this, and it's so bad they felt the need to leak that to the press, to let the American people know, because they know Trump isn't going to tell us themselves. And somebody's head is going to roll for this. Somebody behind the scenes, Donald Trump, is going to want to find out who exactly is leaking this to the press, because this is the worst thing that could happen. That the country now knows, that even the Trump administration sees the pain that is coming. This is huge.
We got some breaking news. Shein and Temu are raising prices because of Donald Trump's tariffs. They are raising prices as much as 370% on some items. They warned you that because of Trump's tariffs that they was going to have to raise prices on April the 25th. And here we are, But there's some good news in this. We're starting to see more and more American-made products on the shelves. And in case you haven't noticed, there's more and more clothes items that's coming from Vietnam. That's because we're buying more from countries that's not trying to fleece America with their tariffs. Ever since Vietnam dropped their tariffs to 0 on the United States, we have been buying more and more products. You see, I told you that tariffs was going to work one way or another, and now here we are saving money by buying American-made goods and goods from some of these other countries that's not trying to fleece America.
Another horrible local example of why Trump's tariffs are literally destroying some people's American dream. This woman right here, Beth, is the founder of the incredibly successful Southern Minnesota-based, it's in Orinoco, company called Busy Baby. Busy Baby, like the name implies, makes some really cool baby products to help from toys and sippy cups and other things getting littered around the house and keeping them close by to your child. It's a very successful company that just signed a contract with Walmart to sell their products there and is in trial with Target. It's like this super great, successful company. But with Trump's tariffs, over $100,000 worth of product are stuck in China right now and will not be able to be sourced back to the United States. And before you say, oh, she should have manufactured here in Minnesota or here in the United States, she tried. She wanted to, but the things that were sourced to make that product aren't available here. It's a global supply chain now, and so she had to make them here and then ship them back to sell here. And now she can't. The company can't. And they are rightly terrified that these tariffs are going to lead to the downfall of a company that is not even their fault. They're doing great work. They're inventing products. They're giving jobs to Americans. Trump's tariffs are destroying people's American dream.
Breaking: Amazon sellers start increasing their prices by 30% ahead of tariff scare on a wide variety of products from phone chargers to women clothing, with many analysts saying that this is due to the tariff war that Trump has made against China. And consumers also worry what other areas of their life will have price increases, and as always, follow for more.
Well, it has officially happened. I have been personally impacted by the tariffs. I am going on a trip and I wanted to look cute on the trip, so I ordered some clothes, okay? I thought I was all good. I placed the order at the end of March before any of the tariff stuff happened. I ordered it from the UK, not a big deal. Actually, doesn't matter where you order it from, matters where it's made. So I got hit with this hot little bill from FedEx, $372. Of that $372, most of that is coming from one particular item. I ordered this cute little sweater vest. See this picture here? Made in China. So my $58 sweater vest went to almost $200 because of this 125% tariff for Chinese goods, because it was not made in America, it was made in China. These tariffs don't affect the companies. They're just gonna pass the cost on to us. I took economics in college and it's been a while, but tariffs are bad economic policy, and that's a hill I'll die on. Well, I didn't vote for this. Why do I have to find out?
When I told you that Donald Trump is intent on hurting all of us, I wasn't kidding. I think the millionaires and the billionaires finally got the message. So I'm going to show you a short clip from MSNBC in which there is a CEO from Citadel. His name is Ken Griffin, who also happens to be one of the mega donors for Donald Trump and also for the Republican Party in general. And I want you to listen to his words. And I want you to hear his words. And although he didn't say it, his words are dripping with regret. Regret that he actually pushed Donald Trump upon us. Listen up.
The United States was more than just a nation. It's a brand. It's a universal brand, whether it's our culture, our financial strength, our military strength. America rose beyond just being a country. It was like an aspiration for most of the world. And we're eroding that brand right now.
And I agree with him. Donald Trump has erased what makes America great. And this is absolutely devastating.
Okay, let's go through some more of these Trump voter regrets. This time, oh Jay. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. I believe that he and Elon Musk have done some good things. But when he devastates the entire federal government contractor workforce because Elon thinks every program is not essential, that is wrong. What happened to cutting the waste? See, you can hear it right there. He's trying to hold on. He still wants to believe they meant well, but the cracks are showing. Okay. 4 days later, April 5th, if Donald Trump or any of the GOP thinks I will vote for you after being laid off from a job I loved with the FAA and spent 26 years doing, you are wrong. It won't be long before the foreclosure rates pick up because of Trump and Elon Musk. And just like that, the support turns to betrayal. 26 years in a job, gone. See, now it's personal to him. A day later, April 6th. Dude, when you work hard at a job for 26 years and Doge and Elon Musk think FAA is not essential, your entire team gets laid off, then you'll understand why people are mad. I voted to stop waste, not destroy the federal workforce. And that's the line right there. I voted to stop waste, not destroy the federal workforce. But that's exactly what happened when you hand the keys to billionaires who don't believe in government. They don't clean it up, they burn it down. Jay gave decades of his life to public service. He trusted that Trump and Elon were just gonna trim the fat. Instead, they torched the whole system and they took him down with it. This is something the left was warning people about, screaming at anyone who would listen, but not Jay. Jay knew better, or at least he thought he did. And this is what happens when you vote for people who don't believe in what you do for a living. They don't just cut waste, they cut you.
I just want to remind everybody that the only reason Donald Trump is not sitting in prison right now is because of due process. Before the election, he had all of these different indictments in different jurisdictions, and anybody who knows anything about the law acknowledged that these indictments were home runs. The evidence against Donald Trump was overwhelming. If they went to trial, he would almost certainly be convicted in every single one of them. But they didn't go to trial. Why? Because of due process. He exhausted the appeal process, basically appealing everything that he could, but that's the only reason they didn't go to trial. But now, Donald Trump is the one trying to take due process away from everybody else. If you're an immigrant or somebody that Donald Trump just doesn't like, you don't get a court date. You don't get a jury trial. You don't get to see a judge or hear the evidence against you or present a defense in Donald Trump's America. Isn't the irony astounding? Rules for thee, but not for me. That's Donald Trump's mantra now. So he gets all this due process and doesn't have to go to jail. But if you're an immigrant, well, you get to go to El Salvador, no questions asked. Insane.
Honest and fair question. What did you expect? What did you expect making a TikTok saying that you voted for Trump and now because of the tariffs, your business is going to go out of business and you're asking for people on TikTok to help you? I think what's sad for me is it wasn't the fact that he is a misogynistic, sexist, rapist who really has it out for women. That wasn't enough. It wasn't that he's racist and has spewed racist hate, Latino hate, African-American hate. None of that mattered. Like, it didn't matter to you until your pocketbook, your bottom line was affected. So again, what did you expect? I mean, it was pretty brave of you to admit that and to come on and make a TikTok like that, but did you really expect for everyone on TikTok to be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, here's a Cash App, here's some advice? No, you fucked around and now you're finding out. And it's not just that you voted for somebody and now your business is hurt, it's that you didn't fucking care until your business was hurt. That's the fucking issue. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. Love you, Slayers.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but every retailer should release their reports to show how much these tariffs are going to impact their businesses and our wallets.
Maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know, and maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally, but we're not talking about something that we have to go out of our way. They have ships that are loaded up with stuff, much of which, not all of it, but much of which we don't need.
You know what's hilarious is the fact that we know starvation is on the horizon. The ports are empty. Overstock is disappearing. People getting laid off on their jobs. People losing their houses, their cars. Car industry is dead. I mean, people are in record high credit card debt. And we still gotta go to work, y'all. We still gotta go to work and pay bills. And I'm wondering how they're gonna do this when you have the people that are still working, still have jobs, but then they starving, they family starving, are they still gonna make them come to work? Is this gonna be a nationwide emergency? Like, what is gonna happen exactly? I'm curious to see how they're gonna work this out, because you can't have an economy this bad. You know it's bad when hospitals start laying people off. You know it's bad when hospitals aren't receiving their supplies. I mean, that's a number one priority, saving lives. And to know that hospitals are shutting down, one, because corporations bankrupted them, but perfect timing, ain't that something? As soon as the supplies and stuff stop coming from China, all of a sudden you have all these private equity firms that purchased these hospitals years ago now bankrupting them. It's perfect timing. I tell you what, I don't know how they're gonna pull this one off, or really what's the end game? What is the plan here? I don't know. I bet you people that ain't never called on the name of the Lord is gonna call on his name now. That always happens. That's human nature. A lot of us feel like, oh, I don't need God, or you don't pay attention to God, or any of that until you need him, until you've been brought to the end of yourself. And when that stomach be growling, or when you need something for your child, oh, it's going to bring you to the end of yourself. And you're going to get, I never prayed before, but let me get on my knees and pray. That's what's going to happen. And that's just how humans are. That's our nature. So even though this is not going to be fun or good, you know, and at the same time, it's going to bring about probably a revival.
So now there are Palestinians who voted for Trump now regretting their vote. You ain't gotta take it from me. Watch this clip. And you know what? I am not gonna be back to make commentary. All I gotta say is, this is what they voted for. And now you're disappointed. And I just don't understand why you all honestly believe that man after he has told you and he showed you. That's all I'm gonna say. What's done is done. Let's go.
Days before the last presidential election, Donald Trump was the invited guest at the Great Commoner restaurant in Dearborn, Michigan. Albert Abbas says he extended that invitation, a decision he is now reflecting on given all that has happened in the last 24 hours.
Many in the community are at a loss for words. Last night was a very rough night for most of us.
Abbas is Arab American and one of a number of Democrats who voted for Trump. Abbas says he hoped Trump would do more than President Joe Biden did to help Palestinians suffering in Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
But after Trump said Palestinians should leave Gaza so it can be redeveloped, Abbas says not only does he feel betrayed, he's hearing from a number of people angered over his past support of Trump.
People were really, really frustrated, and I don't think there's anyone to blame. At the end of the day, as Arab Americans or Muslims, we really didn't have much of a choice.
Dearborn, a Detroit suburb, is home to the largest Arab American population in the United States, a community which helped Trump carry the critical swing state. He won 42% of the vote in Dearborn versus Vice President Harris with 36% and Jill Stein with 18%. In 2020, Biden handily carried the city with 69%. Faye Nimmer voted for Trump in 2024 out of frustration over the previous administration's support of Israel. Now, she is troubled by the president's proposal to move Palestinians out of Gaza.
I mean, it's very concerning and it's infuriating.
Personal feelings, you're infuriated, but standing by your decision for now to have voted for Trump.
Correct.
And what would move that needle for you to say, you know what, I made a mistake?
Palestine is the red line for this community.
Nimmer says she suspects Trump is bluffing and is using his proposal as some sort of negotiating tactic. That's the same sentiment shared by Amar Zar.
First, this is clearly not going to happen.
right? And real estate broker Ali Alfarajala.
A lot of people are calling me and texting me saying, hey, how did your vote work out? How was that third party vote?
Both were so-called protest voters. Neither supported Trump or Harris. Are there any sort of second thoughts now about having supported a third-party candidate?
Absolutely not. And I'll still do it again and again and again.
I didn't vote for Trump. So a protest vote, I don't know. I would say it was a targeted vote of conscience to say that the children of Gaza have to mean something. Their death has to mean something.
And while Arab Americans here were divided in the past, going forward, one point is uniting them: opposition to Trump's proposal to move Palestinians out of Gaza.
The community will be unified. I will tell you this. The Palestinian people would rather die and live in a demolition site than to be ethnically cleansed and being sent out of Gaza to Egypt or Jordan.
And yes, we just cannot see the end of the tunnel at this point, okay? It's just so many things that are happening in the country where we just cannot keep up. The first Trump presidency, it was really full of chaos, but it was a chaos that it was contained. In this time, it's a chaos that is just getting everywhere, in all places. It's just like it's just the grocery stores with the prices that is like no ending and non-stop of the high rocketing of the prices or hijacking of the prices, and no one is gonna put a stop on it. It is the abuse for corporations, okay, to people. Is the tariff. They now are affecting the price of groceries, the price of products and everything. It is the stock market that is plummeting every single day. It is, I cannot just even name all the farmers. They are going bankrupt because of the tariff, because of the they losing their employees, because many of the employees are migrant and they cannot stay here, or they left to other states. They are like more migrant friendly. It's just like, it is so much that it's just hard to keep up with it. And it's just, believe it or not, and still people that is believe him, and they say, no, he have a plan. His plan is gonna be wonderful. We're gonna have to suffer just a little bit, and then we're gonna just be happy, and then it's gonna be better. Come on, man. Come on. He doesn't have a plan. This is just pain and suffering because he just doesn't know enough about economy. And he's a Russian agent. That's what he is. And he definitely is bringing down the economy because Russia told him to do so. And it's just like a never-ending situation where everywhere that you see, everything where you go, it is one thing on another one. You just cannot even keep up with so many things that are happening right now. This is freaking crazy, okay? And we probably, and the funniest part is just these MAGA, these Trump borders, these Trump voters, these Trump supporters. You just see them on the store doing panic shopping, okay? They are doing panic shopping like everybody else and buying a lot of things because they know that this cannot sustain any longer. They know that it's gonna be something that is gonna happen, and maybe we don't want to be able to find anything at the store. We're not going to be able to buy groceries. We're not going to be able to buy anything, and the things that we're gonna find is gonna be really hard to find because of the tariff, because of the things that are happening in the country, because we have someone that doesn't freaking care about the well-being of their citizens of this country. So please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it helps other people to find my content and my videos. Thank you.